Good morning, everybody. It's Brooke with Mrs. Cog Hill Farm, and I'm on my way to the barn to get feeding done, but I had to stop right here because I felt it was an opportunity not to be missed. Rocky and Bandit have a new dirt pile. We are doing some work on the front of the house, and Mr. Greg had bought us a load of dirt, which we did use in front of the house, but this is on my mama's side, and we need some topsoil to put in the backyard area. I'm willing to bet that as soon as they start seeing me walk towards the barn, that they come off that dirt pile just as quickly as they got up there, because, you know, they're my Secret Service and they got to protect Mama. All right, Foxy, let me see you get up there, girl. You and Dee Dee, climb that mountain. Well, we're going to check on Tater first. I have to take a peek out the back doors to make sure she hasn't dropped a calf, because if you watch my last video, you saw that I did a pregnancy test on Tater and what the results were. So I am giddy and nervous all at the same time in anticipation of the first calf ever born at Cog Hill Farm. Now, some of you said, you need cameras. Well, we have cameras. We have cameras that we can see the stalls. We can see the back of the barn where the moo mansion is, but we can't see out in the pasture. We can't see the entire area to know if she has had the calf. So it's always interesting, first thing in the morning, to see if there may be a new baby. Everybody's crowing and Matilda's mooing. She said, for now, Mama, I'm the baby, and don't change it. I'm gonna get her fed, but I gotta take a peek first. Oh, guess who's first up? If it isn't Miss Tater. Tater, I'm just coming to take a peek on you before I get everybody fed. And, oh, y'all, look at that indention, like where her back drops down. That's a little different than what she has looked like. All right, girl, I'm gonna get you breakfast. I'm gonna get you breakfast. You excited, aren't you? They're not as excited to eat as Tater is. Tater's feeding 2 or possibly 3. You know, twins are not very common in cows, but it does happen. And I tell you, I mean, I've seen pregnant cows before, but Tater seems extremely wide, especially for the little man who we anticipate the baby's daddy to be, little Ferdinand. Go over and watch Chestnut Hill's farmstead if you want to know more about little Ferdinand and Chestnut Hill's other female cow, Cinco. I just missed it. Somebody was on the run. You gonna come back, Opie? So if you missed it, we did name the little booger, the little man, Opie, and his sidekick, Aunt B. So that's what we're gonna start calling him. No more little man, just Aunt B and Opie. You 2 favorite farm friends, y'all are up next. I got Matilda taken care of. Peaches, I'm sorry about the Super Bowl, girl. Maybe you're picking the loser. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe we ought to let Pocket pick next year. Hey, Pocket, how about some kisses? All right. Upon finding out that Tater is indeed pregnant, the first thing I started to do is research nutritional requirements. And while we give our cows minerals, it is essential for pregnant cows to have extra minerals. So I just called a farm store that we get our hay from, and they do indeed have something in stock that would be perfect for Tater. So today my mission is to head over there and pick up one of those big mineral tubs. You know, some people use the buckets to plant in, and we've never used one of those. We just always use the mineral actual blocks. So Tater, we're gonna get you all fixed up to where your little tot is, to the best of its ability, developmental wise. Uh-oh, dumped it on your head when it comes out. All right, this is your side anyway. Come on, Miss Mildred. Come on, baby. I'm sorry I spilt a little bit on your head. You're a little bit nasty this morning. That's okay though. It's a rainy, nasty mess, and that's probably gonna be when you choose to have this baby, is when the weather's not cooperating. It's the way it goes, isn't it? All right, big girl. You enjoy your breakfast, and I'm gonna get you a little dessert here in a minute. I just let the goats out, and I noticed something that I don't particularly like. Here's Goldie, but no Nugget. So I gotta go see where Mr. Nugget is. We got some rain coming, a heap of rain coming. So I wanna make sure that he has access to the stall today. Not that he won't stand out in the rain, but with me not seeing him, kind of throws up a red flag. So I'm gonna get the feed buckets up and head on a search for Nugget. Matilda, hey girl. Yeah, she's doing really, really good. She's starting to fill out a little bit, which I'm happy about. Of course, dairy cows, they always show those hips, which makes you think it's a skinny cow compared to a beef cow. But this part right here, you're always gonna see that in a dairy cow versus a beef cow. So she's doing really good. She's starting to fill out, and I'm happy with her progress. I was walking to go see if I could find Nugget, but before I do that, I just thought of something that I wanted to show you guys in anticipation of the rain. We need it. We do need the rain, but this is a little bit early, we think. You can see that the yellow dandelions are showing their face and swaying in the wind this morning. See, Rocky has decided to join Bandit on the other side. They want to talk about spring plants today that are a little bit early. So the dandelion here, you can see the hen bit starting to show its face. Dandelions here. You guys may remember, it's been a while back, a couple of years ago, I would suspect, I found a post on Facebook that a girl that was local to us had too many daffodils, and she offered to the public to come and dig them up if you would help her diminish the number that she had in her yard so her husband could indeed cut grass. And that's what they wanted to do. So I was one of those members of the public, along with Jason and Marycarl. We went over to her house, and she had ooh-hoodles of daffodils, to where we were able to fill up bucketfuls, take them off her hands, and add to our road front property. And let me show y'all. So I don't know how good the camera view is gonna be, but there's a line of daffodils in front of our entire property that we planted, and they're all starting to show their face. And this one here has got a little bloom on it that's about to open up. Now, they don't all bloom at the same time because they were all different varieties. But indeed, it is one of the first signs of spring here in Alabama when you start to see those daffodils blooming. Oh, good morning, Peaches. Peaches said she had to come out and do her business after her breakfast. So I'm gonna head back in the fence and see what other signs of springs we see. And y'all, it is a lot of road frontage that this chain link fence covers. Behind me, it's, well, you can't even see that far on the camera view, and then it goes just that far on the other side. So it's a lot of chain link fence, and a lot of money was spent trying to fence in this property. Not by us though, thankfully. Passed by another one that looks like he could pop at any minute. Some of them are not this far along, but some of them are. And it's gonna put on a pretty show once they all do open up. Here's a perfect example of some hen bit that's in a little area over by Mo and Joe's pen, and y'all, a lot of people look at this as just a weed, but it's something that the bees truly appreciate at this time of the year. Pollen that they bring in from henbit is red. The first time that I ever saw it, we had bees at the old farm, and I frequently enjoyed watching the bees as they brought their pollen in the early spring. I noticed one of the bees' legs were covered in what looked like blood to me. It was the reddest red, and it concerned me. So upon further investigation, I found out that the first pollen of the season that is often henbit is red. So that was interesting for me to find out, because I sure thought something was very wrong with my bees that looked like they may be bleeding. My last stop before I search for Nugget is the fruit orchard. And we live in Chilton County, Alabama, which is known for peaches. Peach farmers are really hoping that this early spring that we're receiving does not end in a freeze that wipes out their peach crop. That is the majority of the agriculture here in this county, and the peach farm is just, the peach farms in the spring are just beautiful, and we certainly hope that they have a bumper crop every year, and a freeze, since there's an early spring like it has been this year, doesn't take away from their peach crop. You can see I'm out here with Jason's pears and apple trees, and this is green foliage that's starting to come out. And not only is green foliage starting to come out, the tree is actually starting to put on all new growth. Let's see. Just going to try to show you a perfect example of some of these buds that are starting to come out and turn so early. I'm on to the blueberry bushes, where you can hopefully see the new growth that's coming out on these. Just like the other trees, it's looking like springtime to them, and so their indication is to start putting out new growth, and hopefully not lose that in a late freeze. And the last one here is our blackberries, and you can see the new growth starting right there at the end of this. I'm trying to turn it to where you can actually see it, but the new growth on the end of this blackberry bush, it's early. It's really early. So I was just walking around looking at the green and the false spring that we're having here, hoping that we don't get a hard freeze that takes this new growth off of everything. Your rose bushes are starting to already show some green. Yeah. And it's time to prune rose bushes right now, as long as they're not spring bloomers, right?
Yeah, this is a spring bloomer, so it'll stay.
You're just pruning and tidying up on some things that are planted in the ground here.
I'm just kind of shaping this and cutting out dead heads. But the butterfly bushes I cut back hard.
Right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because butterfly bushes grow on new growth, so I cut them back pretty hard, and they're fast growers.
All right. And what about our drift roses here? Will they stay like they are?
I'm gonna cut those.
We got to cut these back too.
Yeah.
Look at the new growth that's coming in at the bottom down here already. It's starting to green up, and it's just going to help that plant by cutting it back to rejuvenate itself, and
it's just gonna get fuller. It'll branch off when we cut it like that, so it won't be leggy and that kind of thing.
You think this year this whole, I mean, they're almost touching now, but do you think the whole bank will be engulfed?
Yeah, probably so.
I think you're right.
These are 2 years.
2 years old, and look how full.
And they were 1 gallon.
1 gallon roses. So you recommend not buying the biggest plant at the nursery if you're buying drift roses. You can get by with a small one.
Oh, absolutely on these. Yeah, this is one of those plants that, to me, you're wasting your money on getting a 3-gallon versus a 1-gallon.
Same with figs, right?
Yeah, figs the same way. Always buy 1-gallon figs because they grow so fast.
All right, I'm going to see if I can't find Nugget. We got some rain coming in.
Okay.
And he's not where he should be. So.
Got you.
So hard to believe that these 2 roses that Jason planted in the planter in front of my mama's house are going to totally engulf this planter and make a focal point for this area in front of her house that right now is just a blank wall. So y'all remember this, because I'm going to show it to you again when they get big and put on a show. I'm not going to have to go very far. As soon as I opened the gate and looked to my left, I saw just the man I was looking for. And I had a feeling that this is what was going to be the culprit. Why Nugget was not with Goldie this morning, and you probably are guessing it yourself. And yes, I have been around and I have looked for eggs and I have not seen any. And there's a reason why. They do a good job at covering up their eggs with leaves and making a little mound that you would never guess was not part of the natural landscape. Over this hillside, there's leaves everywhere. I mean, if I was walking, of course, this little area right here would catch my eye. And I would look and make sure there is not anything down there. And there's not. There's nothing there. There's nothing in this little pile over here. But there's little piles everywhere, just like this. And then you pan over, and in a different spot than she's ever laid before, you'll find my main man Nugget squatted down once again, sitting on eggs. I don't have a clue how many, but y'all, I have said time and time again, we're not going to let Nugget sit. And knowing what we know now about the possible genetic problems from Nugget and Goldie being brother and sister, and the potential for what could happen if their eggs did hatch, we know we've made the right decision. We're not rehoming Goldie to G&G Farm until Opie is big enough to go in with Nugget. And we're looking at probably 4 more months at best. But I'm hoping that Goldie's going to quit laying and quit stressing herself out trying to lay eggs in the meantime. Now, she will have a mate that is unrelated to her at G&G Farm that has not, up to this point, been born yet. But she is on a waiting list to get Goldie a new husband so Goldie can achieve what she set out to do, and that is have a mate, sit on eggs, and have her children. While Nugget is going to be just fine with another male and not be tempted to sit on eggs and bring babies into this world that could be genetically problematic. So I figured this was going to be the culprit. I figured I'd find him sitting on eggs, and we got a lot of rain coming, so I'm glad that I did indeed notice that he was not in the vicinity where he should be. And I'm going to gather the eggs. In the past, he has gotten up immediately. As soon as we gather the eggs, he gets up, he carries on, and I don't anticipate today's going to be any different. And it breaks my heart to have to do this, but I know it's the best thing, because we can't potentially have something with genetic defects because of our human error. Okay, so I was able to gather 2 giant green eggs. He has been sitting no more than 12 hours. Saw him late yesterday afternoon. He obviously started this either early morning or during the night. He's not going to fret because she's going to lay again. I have no doubt about it. She's going to lay again. The clutch is getting smaller. I mean, 2 eggs. That probably took her 4 days to lay 2 eggs with a day in between. And it's just becoming more and more frequent with less eggs. So they're doing everything in their power to make that happen. Well, y'all can see that the wind has picked up and Nugget's up walking around, so all is right in the world. And he's gonna not be sitting during what we anticipate to be 2 to 3 inches of rain. Look at how fast he ran down that bank. I don't know where he thinks he's going, probably to tell Goldie she needs to lay some more eggs. That goose came after him. That was funny. I've never seen that happen. And Nugget turned around and ran from him. So that was comical. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the update on spring in Alabama, and hope where you are, you don't have too much snow, because that's not happening here. We just got some rain on the way, which is much needed, and we will just keep hoping for no freezes here in Alabama. Freezing temperatures are not going to bother us. It's those frigid temperatures that we don't like here in Alabama once the buds start showing up. So y'all, I will update on the next episode. I don't know if y'all can see Nugget or not, but he is running across the pasture. I had to catch that before I stopped. I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and y'all be good.